Hi everybody, it's Levy coming to you from Portland, Oregon. A while back, I was sitting with some friends and I mentioned with complete sincerity that I want to become a minimalist. One of my friends, who shall remain nameless, burst out laughing. She said, "Eve, you're so funny. You can never do that." I said, "Why not?" She said, "Because you're just like me and we love stuff." I thought to myself, she's got a point there. Maybe I should just give up on this idea. Listen, I'm not one of those people who can even begin to relate to those individuals out there who call themselves minimalists. You know, the ones that travel the world with their two little bags hanging over the sides of their bicycle, the type that have 2 pairs of underwear with them and a toothbrush and a few basic necessities, and they travel like that for months on end in Thailand. That will never be me, I assure you. But let me tell you something. Even though I have a tendency to enjoy stuff, and honestly, who doesn't? I also know that I have what it takes to get rid of material possessions just like that. Listen to this true story that happened to me. The message is still fresh and exciting in my mind, as if it happened yesterday, and it reminded me that I can do this. Over a decade ago, I was living in Israel at the time. I was married with 2 children, and I had gone home to visit my family in Toronto for the holiday of Sukkot. I was at the time expecting a baby, and I was just starting to show. As was customary on all my visits back home, I would do a little serious shopping, little shopping spree. You can take the girl out of Toronto, but you cannot take the Toronto out of the girl. You know what I mean? I hit all my favorite stores, splurging a little. Okay, maybe a lot. I just needed to get it out of my system. Shopping in Israel is great, it's just not the same. I had a successful shopping spree. I came home with overflowing bags full of the latest maternity fashions. I excitedly folded them into my suitcase, imagining the months ahead filled with happy times. Sadly, this pregnancy did not last. I returned home to Israel, feeling a bit sad and empty. I unpacked, stuffing these hundreds of dollars of beautiful new maternity clothes into the top of my closet, and life went on. From time to time, I gazed up there, looking at this overflowing bag up there, longing, hoping, dreaming, maybe one day. A year flew by, and there I was, back in Toronto, visiting my family again for the holiday of Sukkot. And guess what? Again, I was pregnant. I was so excited all over again, and I was just starting to show. It was kind of a deja vu from the year before. Before leaving back to Israel, of course, I hit the mall with my favorite shopping companion, my one and only sister, Shuli, and we topped off the previous purchases with just a few more necessary wardrobe pieces. Now, my wardrobe would be totally complete. But again, God had different plans, and my pregnancy did not last. I came back to Israel feeling more devastated than ever before. And again, I just stuffed these new purchases on top of the ones from the last year in my closet. The clothing sat there and sat there for a very long time. Time was passing, styles were starting to change. I noticed them up there often. One day, I returned home from a Torah class on emunah, on faith, and I came home inspired. I climbed up on a chair, I pulled down this bulging bag of beautiful designer maternity clothes. I stared at it for a long time, and I said to myself, I have put too much faith in these items. I don't know if I'll ever have the pleasure, privilege, or opportunity to ever use them. I am going to let them go. My faith needs to go into something bigger and greater. Faith needs to be completely in God. I had not realized how so much of my hopes and dreams were in these possessions. Letting them go made space in my life for letting God in. That day, I opened up a maternity clothes gemach. Gemach is a Hebrew word that stands as an acronym for Gemilut Chasadim, acts of kindness. It's like a free loan, I don't know how to describe it, a place where you loan things out. And that very day, I opened up our own free loan maternity gemach. And every time I bumped into a pregnant woman in the supermarket or at the park, I would give her my number and tell her to come over and borrow my maternity clothes. The gemach started getting busy. Women of all sizes were calling, looking for a special outfit for an occasion, for every day. One day, I asked my husband if we could invest in this gemach. He gave me his blessing. It's not like we had a lot of money, but this felt important to both of us. I remember that first order that we put in. It was a $500 order for maternity clothes in every size, all types, all different styles, for ladies of all walks of life in Jerusalem. It wasn't easy to do, but it felt so right. Shortly after we made this investment in our gemach, I had lent out just about every single piece of my personal maternity collection. You guessed it. God blessed us with a healthy pregnancy. I saw this as a wink from God. I felt like he was telling me, you got my message. Don't worry, Eve. I'll give you just what you need in the right time. Believe in me. Minimalizing makes your soul feel good. Statistics show that we wear 20% of our clothing only 80% of the time. Get rid of things that you're not using. If you haven't used it in a year, let it go. Other people can benefit from them. We hold on to our stuff just in case. If I lose the weight, if I gain the weight, if it comes back in style, don't be afraid to give it away to others that could use it now. God will give you what you need in the right time. Why do we choose to live in such clutter? The physical clutter brings with it mental clutter. Letting things go is so freeing. It's so liberating. In Israel, as a young woman, I was newly married, I remember walking into my neighbor's apartment to borrow a cup of sugar. And so naively, I said to her, "Where is all your stuff?" She looked at me with pity. She probably thought to herself, who is this dumb Amerikai? Like, what stuff, she said. She had such a simple life. She didn't need stuff. Our sages have taught us, actually this is brought down in Pirkei Avot, Marbe nechasim, marbe da'aga. The more stuff you have, the more worries you have. Don't let the things you own end up owning you. In life, things don't make you happy. It's not the things, it's the good acts, it's people, it's fulfillment, relationships. I want to give you guys a challenge. Every day, get rid of some things. The things that you don't really need. Yes, some might go into the trash, but a lot will be donated. Next time you pick up a dress that's too small on your daughter, sometimes I'll just shove it back in the closet because I don't want to deal with it. Instead of putting it back in your closet just to sit there until you find it again 6 months later, think right then and there, which friend has a daughter that's one size smaller than yours? Give it to her the next day. Let her enjoy it now. So here's the challenge. You're going to start on a Sunday, and you're going to do this for 6 days until Shabbat. This is going to change your life. This is going to change your week. You're going to feel lighter, freer, happier, and you're going to feel like your stress is slowly leaving you. Thank you so much for joining me for A Dash of Eve. Goodbye until the next time.